Hi guys, it's Miss Price. It's Sunday evening, and we are going to be looking at chapters 4 and 5 in in the Adventures of Don Quixote. I'd like to read chapters 4 and 5 here shortly, but here is the vocabulary for both chapters. Okay, spoil is the first one. It's a noun. It's something valuable that is stolen or taken by soldiers or thieves. A field is an adverb, off the right course, far from the starting point. Three, friar is a noun. It's a male member of a religious group who studies or teaches about Christianity, similar to a monk. A dromedary is a noun. It's a one-humped camel. Bewilder is a verb. It's to confuse. Enchanted is an adjective, magical or charmed. Basin is a noun. It's a shallow bowl. Eight is ardent. It's an adjective. It's having or showing very strong feelings. And 9 is mercy. It's a noun. It's kind or forgiving treatment by someone in power. So these words are from chapters 4 and 5. Luckily, chapter 4 is in the workbook. So let me scroll. Let's see, page right here. But chapter 5 is not. And chapter 5 is actually very short. And I'll take pictures of that with my phone and send that to you guys, okay? Don Quixote and Sancho Panza have some strange adventures. The next 2 weeks were rather quiet at home. The priest and the barber spent long hours chatting with their friend, just as they had in the good old days. Everyone thought the insanity was gone now, but no one knew was that sometime during those days Don Quixote had talked to a neighbor, usually a sensible man, and had filled his head with crazy ideas. His name was Sancho Panza. He was short and stout, a simple man who didn't know how to read and write. Sancho was a poor farmer with a wife, a son, and a daughter. He loved his family and worked hard, but now his neighbor, who knew a lot, was promising great things if Sancho went traveling with him. In the old days, Don Quixote had said, knights won islands and kingdoms. They gave them to their squires to govern. I plan to do the same with you, Sancho, if you become my squire. Sancho thought this over and over, an island to govern. He said to himself, I'd be rich. I'll never have anything if I stay home and work nonstop for the rest of my life. I can send money to my family from the island. So it was that, late one night, without saying goodbye to wife or children, niece or housekeeper, the two adventurers left unnoticed. Don Quixote was again on his Rocinante. Sancho rode the only mount he had, a grayish donkey he called Rusio because of its color. On his master's advice, the squire had taken big saddlebags full of food and other provisions. They rode all night and stopped only at dawn, when they were sure they couldn't be found. Sancho's mind was fixed on one thing, that island. How long would it be in coming? He wanted to know. It could be any time, maybe within 6 days, his master said. On the road again after a while, they caught a glimpse of 30 or 40 windmills. A common sight in those parts. Don Quixote thought this was wonderful. Excuse me. Look yonder, Sancho. There are 30 or more monstrous giants. I shall engage them in fierce combat, and when I win, Sancho, we'll be on our way to riches with the spoils. What giants, your grace? Asked Sancho. Those yonder, those with the long arms, his master replied. But, your grace, they're not giants, they're windmills. Sancho warned. There are no arms, just the sails going with the wind. It is crystal clear, Sancho, that you don't know what you're saying. Don Quixote affirmed. If you are afraid, stand to the side. Let me fight them alone. Master, master, they are windmills, Sancho repeated urgently. They are not giants, master, they are windmills. Windmills! The knight didn't hear his squire's urgent cries. He rushed toward the windmills, challenging and insulting the big white things all the while. Just then the wind blew and the sails began to go around. You don't frighten me, he told them. At Rocinante's fastest gallop, he charged and lanced a sail. The wind made the sail go furiously. Horse and knight were flung to the ground far afield. Sancho rushed to help. God in heaven! Didn't I tell you, master, they were windmills? Hush, Sancho, my friend. Matters of war, more than others, are subject to change. Don Quixote told him it was my old enemy, the wizard Freston, who turned the giants into windmills. He did not want me to win. May it be the Almighty's will, said a resigned Sancho as he helped his master rise and mount poor bruised Rocinante. That night, the, the knight and his squire camped in a nearby forest. The next day they headed for the mountain pass of La Peace. There would be a lot of adventure there, for sure. A couple of friars riding mules to Don Quixote, horses as big as dromedaries, were approaching. Behind them, but not with them, came a stagecoach escorted by 4 or 5 horsemen. A lady traveling with her maids was on her way to Seville to meet her husband. Aha! I have them now, Don Quixote said to himself. And then to the friars, you wicked wizards, you won't be able to kidnap that lovely princess and her lovely ladies in waiting. Sir, we are 2 innocent friars. We haven't kidnapped anyone. One of them protested. That's a disguise, Don Quixote said, but you can't hide from me. The horsemen accompanying the women were not about to let anyone block the road. There was fighting, a tremendous free for all. Poor Sancho got a mean beating. The worst part, though, was when one of the horsemen, a huge fellow, decided to go after Don Quixote. It was clear that he intended to kill the strange old man. But as he was about to charge, he fell off his horse. It was the knight's day, and he was ready to take revenge. Sir Knight, we beg you, don't kill him, the lady in the stagecoach cried. Don Quixote stopped, went to the carriage, and ceremoniously said to her, I am sparing the man's life, most gracious princess, only because your highness has asked. He commanded the fallen man, you must go to El Toboso to the most beautiful woman in the world, my Lady Dulcinea. But I, the brave Don Quixote de la Mancha, defeated you to honor her. This was one more thing to bewilder everyone, especially the horsemen. Knights knew about paying homage to a lady, but he did not. And besides, who was this Lady Dulcinea? Where was she? Neither the horsemen nor anyone else dared to ask. Poor Don Quixote, guys. He, he, after all that reading about knights and killing dragons and all that, that he really truly thinks that, you know, that he, uh, I guess, since he has been dubbed a fake knight, that he certainly can, beat all those things. But sorry about that. I'm just kind of scrolling up and down here. But okay, so chapter 5, sorry. Chapter 5. It's actually very short. So, and here's chapter 5, and I will put it, like I said, I will put it on the classwork for you to see. More strange adventures. Knight and Squire were on the road again when it started raining. A man with a shiny object on his head was coming toward them. Sancho, my friend, I am in luck, said Don Quixote. I see the golden helmet of Mambrino on that man's head. That helmet is very valuable, you know. What golden helmet, my master? Sancho asked. I see something shiny, but that's no helmet. Sancho, you know nothing of knighthood. It may not look like a helmet to you, but to me, oh, I recognize it. The enchanted helmet I shall claim for myself. Don Quixote charged. The man, scared to death, fell off his donkey and ran for his life. The knight managed to untie his own headpiece and put on his helmet. It was too big, and a piece of it was missing. This was no golden helmet, of course, but a brass barber's basin. The the barber was on his way to a house call. He'd worn the basin to protect his head from the rain. Oh, some ignoramus has melted a piece of this precious helmet for the gold, Don Quixote said. Sancho wanted to laugh, but was afraid to. He'd seen his master get angry, and that could mean trouble. He wanted to laugh because this, like all Barbara's basins, had been made with a half moon carved out to fit comfortably against the curve of a man's neck. Knight and squire rode peacefully for a night until they saw a gang of 12 chained men coming in their direction, with 2 guards in front and 2 in back. Sancho said they were prisoners on their way to do a hard labor on the king's galley ships. They'll have to row those ships, he said. I've heard that prisoners dread the big oars. Do you mean they're going against their will? Asked Don Quixote. I will never let that happen. The knight stopped the group and asked a number of questions. One was a robber, another a horse thief, a third was an embezzler. The worst criminal of all, with a record of many bad deeds, was a very cocky and arrogant man named Gines de Pasamonte. You men are being punished for your bad behavior, Don Quixote told the convicts. But since I know you don't want to go where you're being taken, I'll ask this guard to set you free. Now, guys, really, come on. Do you really set prisoners um, free? Absolutely not. That's just what we need now, exclaimed the guard. Sir, we don't have the authority to set them free. Go with God and stop looking for trouble. You're the one looking for trouble, Don Quixote said as he attacked the guard. The other guards came to defend their colleague, and the criminals broke loose. Here, all you newly free men, you must pay me for the favor I've done you, said Don Quixote to the scattering men. Go to El Toboso and show the change to my lady Dulcinea. Tell her, step by step, how I, her ardent suitor, the brave Don Quixote de la Mancha, set you free. After that, you may go wherever you want. We can't all go together, said Gines de Pasamonte. We'd be caught again. And as for taking up those chains once more, you must be joking. That's out of the question. Well then, Gines, you shall do it alone. In everybody's name, Don Quixote said. Oh, yes, I shall do this, and this, and this, he said as he threw stones at Don Quixote. He motioned for the other convicts to do the same. A shower of stones for Don Quixote and Sancho was the reward. Then the criminals all fled, each in a different direction. Squire and knight, as well as their mounts, were thrashed without mercy by the angry guards. Don Quixote was extremely sad. Such ingratitude, he thought, and from the very people he had helped the most. He recovered quickly, however, and his thoughts soon turned again to other ways he could help people in need. Okay, so that was chapters 4 and 5. Okay, and we're finding that Don Quixote, so far in this book, um, is doing things that were really odd, and we know that he believes things obviously much differently than what really is happening, all because of his reading that he's done. And he really believes that he can just be a knight just out of the blue. That's not even possible. But let's see. Looking at the workbook, I'm going to put it on your classroom assignment. So you can just look at it. I want you to do page 65. It's the mixed practice. It's the noun and pronoun, subject, action, verb agreement, which is what we did the other day. And again, practice the suffix NESS. Okay. And so those are pages 65, 66, 67, and 68. And I'll have that there for you to look at. Okay. And let me just say that if you have been hearing a dog bark, that is my daughter Lily's dog that is outside and wanting to come in. So anyway, she is helping with the lesson tonight. But have a good night, and this is tomorrow's lesson. So I will talk to you later. Bye bye.